Alright guys, just to show you that not everything always goes as planned, I was polishing the body of the Mercedes 300 SL, and I was doing it very late one night. I kind of fell asleep in the middle of polishing because I was very tired, but I wanted to just see the shine, what the shine on this thing would be like if I polished it out. So I decided, yeah, you know what, I'm just gonna polish it out. And then I kind of dozed off, and my rotary polishing tool just went right into the paint, burned it here and here. So I repainted the hood recently, and now I just repainted the front of the nose here. And we're gonna unmask it and see if hopefully we managed to fix it, because it had a great paint job before, and not so much after I was done with it.
You dummy!
So let's unwrap it and see if all of our repair painting worked out the way we wanted it to. Yeah guys, we've had a lot of issues with this model as we're coming to the end of it. Alright, now I do see some tape residue here on the hood, so we're gonna have to polish that out, and I may end up giving it another clear coat here on the hood and on the front. That will hopefully clean up the mess that I made of it. It was coming out beautiful too. So there we go. We're gonna have to definitely wet sand that hood and clean it up a bit, as the tape did leave a few marks in there. So we're gonna wet sand it, and then I probably am gonna clear coat the hood and the nose. So this is gonna take a little longer than I had anticipated, but looks like we're okay with our repair work. It's not 100%, but it's okay. The tape certainly did not help it. So now let's see if we can get rid of we put a little bit of there we go, and we managed to save the Mercedes emblem. So we won't have to redo that. There we go. Okay, not as perfect as I had hoped, but it is better than it was. Alright, so now we're going to give this a few more days to cure, and then we're just going to go in, we're going to wet sand the hood, do some touch-ups, and hope that the mess I made is not too noticeable. Going to polish it out, smooth everything out, and see if this will be salvageable, because I really don't want to strip it down and have to do it all over again. It was coming out so nice. Alright guys, well, that's the trials and tribulations of building models. Sometimes this stuff happens. Remember, do not polish while you're sleeping. Do not polish when you're about to fall asleep and you're really tired, because you're gonna do what I did. Oh, I also dropped it and cracked it here. So that's going to need some smoothing out and cleaning up, but that's going to be covered by bare metal foil anyway, so I'm not that concerned. Hey guys, just a little modeling tip here. Keep a water spray bottle next to your paint booth, because every time you're going to paint something in there, just before you paint, give it a little quick spray down to limit any dust that might be accumulating in your spray booth to hopefully keep it out of your paint. Alright guys, I just finished re-clearing the front end of the Mercedes after I totally screwed up the paint as I was polishing it. Just to let you guys know that yeah, sometimes I make really big mistakes. But now we're going to unwrap all of this and let this thing sit for a few days, and hopefully we'll have no more issues with the paint work on this car. Alright guys, and here you have it. The body is back in one color. For the most part, it came out pretty good. A couple of blemishes here and there, but I'm happy with that I was able to rescue this before I was going to have to dunk it into the paint stripper. So now we're going to have to go ahead and let it cure for a few days, and then we're going to polish out again. We're going to have to redo our panel lining for the hood and do a couple little touch-ups that I see I'm going to need here and there, but overall I think it's going to be salvageable. Really happy with that. Tamiya paint always lays down beautifully. I see I did get a couple of little dust bunnies in there, but that's easy enough to repair. So now we're going to put her to the side. Oh, forgot to grab these. Let's just remove these here now. And we're not going to push our luck with the paintwork on this build again. I have to remember, I dozed off while I was polishing. How I did that, I don't know, but believe me, it is possible. And I went right through the paint. So I repainted the hood, repainted the front part of the bumper here, and masked everything off, just cleared it up tonight. Now we're going to let it off gas, let the paint shrink down to where it's supposed to be. And hopefully we are done with making a mess out of this kit. The clear is a little heavier on the windscreen and the wipers than I really wanted, but once it off gases and clear and shrinks down a little bit, hopefully that'll be okay. And we're going to have to do something about the seam line from the tape up there, as I didn't realize there's no panel line there. You guys remember I made the panel line gap here and here, and I didn't really look and see that there was no panel line gap there. So I missed that, but we're going to sand that down, and that's going to be all covered with bare metal foil anyway, so we'll be able to work with that. Okay guys, we're applying the body jewelry to the Mercedes 300 SL. We've already done the lower chrome strip on the bottom, and now I'm adding the two chrome strips that go over the air intakes or the heat extractors from the doors to the front fenders. Alright, now as you can see here, I've got the entire area masked off, except for the areas that I want the bare metal foil to cover. Now, the tricky part of this is getting into these vents here, as the bare metal foil has to fold over and go into the vents there. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's actually folded over and going in there. Now that was very tricky to do, especially with as thin as bare metal foil is, but it is actually the best type of foil to use for this if you're not going to paint it, because it conforms to all of these weird little bends that are going on here in each one of these little into each one of these little vents. So what I did was I masked it off with the tape here to keep any excess bare metal foil from hitting the body and leaving all more glue marks that I'll have to clean off. And then I just applied the bare metal foil over the mask that I have here. Cut it, took the bare metal foil and folded the bare metal foil into those little vents. Which is the beauty of bare metal foil, is that it conforms to all of those little vents and gives me a nice flat surface to start cutting on. And it actually worked out pretty well, because I got both of those side strakes there covered over in bare metal foil the way they should be. So I still have to do the other side of the car. So we're going to do that. Okay guys, here we have the finished product, and I gotta say that I am very happy with the way that turned out. I got the bare metal foil to lay right where I wanted it, and I think it looks pretty good there. So I am really happy with that. Now, one thing I did want to talk about is that I have the Hasegawa mirror finish, and this is what I was first going to use on the lower trim, on the lower chrome trim here on the body. And I did lay the Hasegawa mirror finish on the other side of this car, and when I did, it looks fantastic, but it tends to be a little too shiny. And when compared to this, which you cannot use the Hasegawa on, because in order to get these folds that go into the vents, the Hasegawa, being a vinyl and not a metal foil, will not conform to those small little bends. It's good for stuff like this, but not like this. And I didn't want two different metallic tones, as the Hawa would be much more mirror-like and much more reflective than a bare metal foil. So I decided that I was just going to bare metal foil everything on this car, so that we don't have one really shiny piece of trim and then the other two pieces of trim not as shiny, not looking as good, or looking different. I don't know, just something about that I didn't think would look right. So I decided just to do bare metal foil on everything, and I think it was the right choice. Okay guys, we're gonna end this video here. As you can see, all of the bare metal foiling is done on the sides. Now I'm going to start with the bare metal foiling around the windows. I've also installed the front grille, which is done with Revell Chrome, which kind of matches that bare metal foil perfectly. But for now, that's it. So I will see you on the next one.